Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm about to show you it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse for New York City and, in relation, Kathy Hochul. Because the whole uproar and fury around the officer that was killed by the whole bail reform with felons having guns, that whole debacle. Well, we got another situation. Listen to this title. Group of gun-toting migrant squatters busted in Bronx basement apartment on weapons and drug charges. Wait until I show you the backstory on this one. You might find a common theme. Now, of course, everything's going to be linked in the description box below for you to review this for yourself. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And this content this week is sponsored by American Hartford Gold. I'm going to say a quick word, and then we're going to hit this debauchery. And the content today is brought to you by American Hartford Gold. And brothers and sisters, with everything popping off around the world, wars cracking off, we've got inflation issues, we've got stock market volatility, we have cash concerns, we have oil concerns. It's a good time to take a look and at least know your options with American Hartford Gold. They are dedicated to offering gold, silver, platinum, coins, and bars for your investing needs. Whether you want to do it delivered to your door or you want an IRA, Roth IRA, 401k, TSP, they've got options. This is something you guys should check out. At American Hartford Gold, they aim to educate clients about investments in the precious metal industry, strive to provide unparalleled customer service built on trust, integrity, and absolute transparency, while holding a goal of achieving 100% customer satisfaction. Click the link in the description or call 844-727-3199. That's 844-727-3199 or text Langley to 65532. Again, that's 844-727-3199 or text Langley to 65532. All right, beautiful people. We have got to talk about something that seems to be a recurring theme around the woke ideologies around justice reform for criminals and DAs and judges and what Hochul signed into law, all the while blaming guns for the fact that you shouldn't have rights because criminals. Keep that in mind. That's why we hit this. Spread this one out, and it's just so easy, people, because this screams awkward. Again, I'm going to read the title for you. Group of gun-toting migrant squatters busted in Bronx basement apartment on weapons and drug charges. That was published yesterday. Let me show you a few of these details. And again, you let me know in the comments field when this starts to sound very familiar. A group of gun-toting migrant squatters were busted in a basement apartment in the Bronx, where authorities found a drug stash in a space shared with a young child, police said. So we've got immigrants, not citizens, having guns, squatting, and dispersing drugs. Sanctuary Cities is making an appearance real big and proud here. The NYPD collared the 7 suspects after they were called to the Hull Avenue home at around 10 p.m. last Wednesday on the report of a man with a gun, according to NYPD Chief of Patrol John Chell. All right, so we've got a big overlying cloud here, and this kind of goes to leftist policies in general and how all their policies conflict. You're talking about migrants who are taking advantage of the Sanctuary Cities law, who will not be deported, who have guns somehow because they're not citizens. They are squatting in apartments that are not theirs, and they are dealing and dispersing drugs from those areas, all the while menacing people with firearms. I'm still waiting for the point where law-abiding citizens are at fault for all the crime. This is stacking on the fact that a tourist was shot in Times Square a couple months ago, violating the sensitive places by another underage migrant when there was no charges around sensitive places violations. You can't make this stuff up. How much more do we have to show you to say the leftist ideals do not work when it comes from immigration, when it comes to gun rights, when it comes to anything, it doesn't work. And again, this is not aimed at Democrats, it's aimed at leftists. Authorities searched the apartment and found 2 more guns. 3 guns total, one including a ghost gun. As well as 3 extended magazines, a box of ammunition, a bag of ketamine, and a bag of ketamine mixed with cocaine, Chell said. So we're violating ownership of a firearm on a federal level. We're violating gun ownership in the city of New York. We're violating drug laws across the board. We've got a ghost gun, which they told us was impossible in gun control because in New York, it's a gun control city. And then we've got the whole sanctuary city thing, which is allowing it to happen. Here we go. Let me show you the details. Police arrested 7 people. These are all of the names of the people, and charged them with weapons possession and criminal possession of a controlled substance. Notice how it doesn't say anything about them being deported or anything of that nature? Because Sanctuary Cities is showing its ugly head. Let me show you a few details around bail reform. Remember that little thing that Hochul said isn't really a thing? D'Souza Vallata and Alborno, both of whom were already well known to authorities, were ordered held on bail, according to Chell. D'Souza Vallata has an open case that dates back to August of 2023 when police officials said he shot a fellow immigrant in the leg during an argument over a woman in Yonkers. This guy's out. Attempted murder, actually shot someone else, and the New York City Justice Department has this person out on bail. And then they blame guns. Guys, let's continue. But the attempted murder case fell apart when the victim refused to cooperate. Alborno, for his part, was arrested in the Bronx last September and indicted for possession of a loaded firearm, according to police. Separate person, indicted, back on the street. Not a citizen, has a firearm, in a gun control state that says firearms are the bane of all existence, they're back on the street. Are you catching a theme here? The police officer who was killed last week, the guys who killed him were arrested 21 and 14 times. Both had guns, both were violent felons. Are you picking up a theme? Well, let's continue. A judge cut him loose without bail, Chell said, even though the Bronx district attorney requested $10,000 bail. Remember when Hochul said, well, the judges have it's their purview, it's their decision, it's really up to them? It's up to them because the New York legislature passed a law and Hochul signed it, giving them the opportunity to put these violent felons back on the street. A third suspect, Barrios, is wanted for retail theft and shoplifting in both Pennsylvania and New York. He was held on $25,000 bail and may be extradited to those states to face charges. The remaining suspects were released either on their own recognizance or supervised release. Guys, at a certain point, this is so embarrassing for Hochul. I don't even know how they get out of this one. There's going to be a lot more MSNBC appearances by Hochul to get out of this because these things are continuing to happen, and the reason that they're continuing to happen is because the underlying cause is based off of bail reform and justice reform on the left woke ideals that the legislator passed in Albany that's affecting everything that you're seeing. All the while decrying the fact that guns are the problem across the board, infringing upon the rights of the legal, and then saying that criminals aren't going to have penalties when they actually shoot people with guns across the board and they're left out on their own recognizance. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. And one last thing to really drive the point home. Several of the suspects are also being investigated for taking part in robberies in Bergen County, New Jersey, but they have not yet been charged for that. You have hardened criminals who are obviously taking part in a life of crime, found squatting in an apartment that is not theirs with heavy drugs, guns, ghost guns, and all of them are immigrants underneath a sanctuary city, and you're telling me that the problem is gun rights. Guys, this can't be more clear, and that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.